Hello, good morning and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Pavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 24th October. It's Wednesday today, so we don't have that many articles, but the number one article on our table is this one, Outcomes versus Promises. It's about India, it's about USA, it's about Russia, it's about geopolitics, international relation. It is written by N.K. Narayan, who was National Security Advisor of our country. So very important article, number one priority. Let's go through it. But before that, let me tell you that our pen drive and tablet courses are available for various different exams, as you can see on your screen. To find out more about it, do check out studyiq.com. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my FB page and Twitter handle. Now, this Outcomes versus Promises. In a month, we saw this two interaction, right? The first one was 2+2, where Defense Minister of USA accompanied by Minister of, not Minister of External Affairs, but over there, they call them, the terminology is secretary. So Defense Secretary and State Secretary. So Foreign Minister and Defense Minister of USA, right? Both of these important dignitaries were here in our country and they interacted with Defense Minister and Minister of External Affairs of our country. So this is a unique dialogue called 2+2. This is for the first time we had this sort of interaction with USA. This thing happened in our country, and in a month we saw Vladimir Putin. He was here in our country for this annual summit that takes place every year between Russia and India. It was back in 2005 when Mr. Putin and Mr. Manmohan Singh signed this protocol for annual summit, and simultaneously this, if this year's meeting 2018 was in India, so 2019 meeting will take place in Russia. So this is how it works, right? And this meetings, this summits, this protocol summit or this bilateral summit that is going on between both our nations, it's doing very well. We have seen some good results, good outcomes coming out of this annual interaction. Back in 2009, a Russian aircraft carrier, Gorskov, renamed Vikramaditya. This thing was signed back in 2009. This year, 2018, we saw this $5.4 billion S-400 Triumph missile defense system. That's on your screen here, right? As you can see, it can hunt down hostile aircrafts, fighters and fighter jets and missiles and drones and so many things. So it's a very important product for us, and it's not just about this defense procurement or defense product procurement. It is more than that. Remember, before this meeting, we used to get this calls from USA about CAATSA, that stay away from Russia or you will, come under this net of CAATSA and you may face sanctions and things like that. But then as well, we have decided to go ahead with this thing. So we have issued or displayed our posture or this gesture that when it comes to our national security, when it comes to our international relationship with various different countries, we are going to be independent, isn't it? That's what we can make out of it. Now let's go through India and Russia's bilateral relationship, and then we will talk about India and USA's bilateral relationship, and then we will go through this thing like what is important for us, isn't it? Because a couple of days ago we were discussing this thing that when it comes to international relations or when it comes to geopolitics, right, one of the most important thing is that we have to look after our own back. We have to keep our national interest on top of the table. It should be our topmost priority whenever we are interacting with any country, may it be USA, may it be US or Russia or China or Japan, etc. So India at present, if we go through the practical side or grassroots level, we find that India at present fancies, it prefers close relationship with Russia. Our relationship has always been great, no doubt, and when it comes to defense relationship, they have helped us so many times, and it was not a charity. Of course, we have paid a huge amount of money as well. We find ups and downs, taking place many times when it comes to defense procurement because of delay in project and things like that. But overall, we can say that things are quite healthy. I don't want to dig too deep in this topic, but I can roughly say that cultural ties between India and Russia are good as well. I'll give you just one example. If you can understand from this thing, our Bollywood films, right, are quite influential in many parts of Russia, and they like our culture. They have so many things. They celebrate our art and other things. So this is just one example. The Russians, they have love for Indians, and I believe that we do. Yes, we do have the same feeling for Russians, right? We understand this thing that they have always been with us and things like that. So when you have this sort of trust and people-to-people contact, it becomes easier for you to develop your relationship and take it to altogether new, next level. Now they are going to help us with this astronaut training, Gaganyaan, that we are trying to achieve by Gaganyaan, or this mission, a space mission, that for a very first time we are going to send our astronauts in the sky or in space, and for that Russia is going to help us. If I'm not wrong, then Russia is the first country in the world to send human beings in space, right? So they call it cosmonauts, and generally people call it astronauts. So anyways, it's the same thing. So Russia is going to help us in this space mission. Together we have conducted so many other space missions as well. Means we have launched some of, if I'm not wrong, we have launched their satellites as well in the past. And in terms of technology, so many important strategic technologies that you don't get it that easily from other countries, or it's nearly impossible for you to get it from other countries. Russia has happily, with a smile, they have provided us because they trust us. So this is the sign of a healthy relationship. In terms of civil nuclear energy, Kudam plant is doing very well. Power plant is doing quite well, and we are talking about second site, right? This is going to be conducted with the help of Russia, of course. Second Russian nuclear reactors in our country. A couple of days ago, this thing was in news, and we have discussed about this thing. I highlighted this thing specifically. It was not in Hindu, but I think it was in a financial or a pink paper, and I provided you a sort of infographic. So it was about Bangladesh, right? Russia is going to set up a nuclear power plant for energy production in Bangladesh, and for that India and Russia, we are going to collaborate with each other to execute this a nuclear energy power plant in Bangladesh. So it's altogether it's a next step for us in terms of security. Russia has assured us that it is ready to provide us security. Means us, when I say I'm talking about Asian countries, right? Russia is ready to support the security scenario of Asian countries. So that's I believe more than enough, right? Because we have already talked about this sort of things many times in the past. Now when it comes to USA, right, it looks like see, the thing with Russia is there is no strings, right? There is no terms and conditions. There is no like don't do this and don't do that. If they are giving us this S400, if they are selling us this S400, then that's it. They are giving us with full trust. When it comes to USA, you have to go through so many formalities, and you have to sign this and that, and you have this Comcasa that you have to sign, and then we have already signed this Limau, and then when Becca is pending, and so it's a bit of headache as well, I would say, right? It's not that easy to deal with USA compared to dealing with Russia. The other thing is when it comes to USA, it's more about dominance, right? It's more about master meeting a chela or something, So that's what we find, a sort of different attitude. It's difficult, right? You find this attitude of dominance most of the time. And of course, India is not a country that will shut its mouth, and it's not that we will happily accept a dominance that is expressed by USA. But still we find this sort of attempts, and what USA is trying to achieve here with this 2+2 is it looks like it is trying to put India first here for various different reasons. Now we are a very important player in this part of the world because of our economic rise, because of our 3Ds, that is demand, demography, and democracy, and so many things. There are other things that we can. So in short, in essence, India is a very important country when it comes to Indian Ocean region. Of course, we all know that, right? But now USA wants us to play a very important role in terms of security of the whole this region, and have a partnership with Australia and other countries, allied countries, so that in case if China is, doing something wrong here, or if China is trying to flex its muscles. Without coming to this portion here, India can act for USA. That's what they are trying to. They are trying to project this thing that they are there for us, and I'm not saying they are not, but still it's bit looks, it's I would say they want us to stick in their orbit, right? They want to see us in their orbit, in their side, and this is a sign that is not that it's not appreciated by Russia, and this is one of the reason why Russia is using this card of Pakistan as well. That's what Russia will do. So we have to be a bit careful here. Asia Pacific, Indo-Pacific, we have talked about it. The region, it's on your screen, right? So please help yourself. If you are a new student, right, totally fresh, and if you don't know what it is all about, then do let me know. I will take out a couple of minutes and explain this thing to you. But generally speaking, I think we all are now regular and well set. So this is Asia Pacific, Indo-Pacific region. The reason that to make India happy now, Russia, not Russia, but USA has blocked more than $1.5 billion charity, or you can say this aid that was provided to Pakistan by USA. So it's just $150 million this year in 2019. So that's a bit of a shock for Pakistan. But that's not something that will impress us, right? That's not something that will cast a spell on us, because we know that we have to, it's not that India is not knowing all these things. We are understanding this thing. So India is well aware about all this sort of tactics. In terms of trade relationship, things have moved up, no doubt. Back in 1995, it was our bilateral trade was $11.2 billion. It's $126.2 billion in 2017, so it's not bad. Foreign direct investment has gone up. USA's FDI coming into India has gone up drastically as well. Major defense partner, that's what they want us. That's what they call us. And it's very strange when they are calling us major defense partner. At the same time, they are talking about Katsa. So this is the attitude, this is the shade, right? This is how USA will deal with you. So every country, just like every individual, every country has its own, characters and mix and match. Some countries confident, some countries bit blunt and bit aggressive and bit, dominant, trying to be a bit dominant. Some countries are a bit silent, and it all depends. It's just like human beings, so that's how, if you see countries in this way, then it becomes a bit easier for you as well to understand how geopolitics works. So pivot to Asia, that's what they call us, that we are very important. But of course, one of the main reason is China. The rise of China's economic as well as military might has raised ears of USA, and this is one of the reason why they want us to play a very important role here. This also indicates that USA's strength is not that much as it used to be at once upon a time. So now it is seeking partnership with various different countries. This is also a fact that China is getting strong, and those days are gone when USA was able to control China. Now China is a dragon that you cannot, you can say, tame. So it will do what it feels is right for China. So these are the things that are going on, but we have to understand this thing, as we have talked about earlier on as well. As I told you this, if I have not, then let me tell you that today is going to be very easy day for you guys, because see, this one is a political article, this one as well you can drop, this one is an easy read one. Now we have done with this one, we have to go through these two articles. So it's not that difficult day today, very easy day today. And the reason why I'm saying easy is because I'm strongly convinced that you guys have this good understanding, background understanding of what we should do, because we have talked about it many a time. So what we should do, again, right, for new students and for your revision, we should stick with strategic autonomy. That's the thing that we have to do. We don't want to project our tilt towards Russia. We don't want to stick with USA alone, right? What we can do is we can invest or keep our eggs in various different baskets. That means if we can get something right at a right price, with a right deal, if we can get something from Russia, then we should go ahead with that. If we can get something from USA, and if that is something that is better than Russia, then we should go with USA's deal. So we have this option. We are the customer. We are the defense procurer. We are the customer. So it's our choice. This is all marketing tactics, right? That's what they are trying to do. Defense industry is quite mature in US as well as quite mature in Russia. So they are arms suppliers of. They do supply items, so many defense items to various different countries. So that's what they are trying to do. That's a competition that we have to identify here. So whatever is good for us, we should stick with it, right? Our national interest should be our top priority. And we have this capacity to have independent, healthy relationship with Russia. At the same time, we can have this healthy relationship with USA and China too. So this is something that we have to learn, and this is something that we have to execute. Moving on to another item, this is about trouble at the top. Now this one is about CBI, right? Chasing CBI. So it's a very sad thing, to be honest. It's a very, very demotivating, very, very bad thing that FIR is registered again. I beg your pardon? Against its own special director. I'm not saying that this is a wrong thing. The wrong thing is that when you are at this level, right, when you are a special director of CBI, you have got everything possible one person can wish for, particularly an civil servant, right? It's for an IPS officer, this is a top position, isn't it? One of the top position, a very good position as well. If you are a special director of CBI. And now if your name is found in this list that you are going to be, it means you are involved in a certain sort of corruption charges and things like that, then this is not good at all. So you are sending a very bad signal, a very negative signal, and this will demotivate so many people out there, so many aspirants out there, so many cases that are going on or investigated by CBI, and our questions will be raised. And this is right as well. CBI has been termed by Supreme Court many a times in the past as a caged parrot too. This CBI has acted as a sort of puppet for central government, and this is not just about NDA. It used to happen in UPA government time as well. So this is something that we find with CBI, and this is a bad thing because it is our premier investigation agency. There are so many questions that we can raise here. That appointment of CBI directors is made by this committee comprising Prime Minister and CJI and leader of opposition. So at this high level as well, if whatever charges are levied against Rakesh Asthana, just in case if they are right, if they are proven right in the court, then just imagine that we cannot trust even this high level committee, isn't it, where you have Prime Minister, CJI and leader of opposition. That means flaws can be found at this level as well. Everything should be double or triple checked, but even if then you are finding this sort of thing, then something is not right. And this is not the first time. We have seen previous director Ranjit Sinha, AP Singh. There are so many people in the past worked in CBI. They were involved in this sort of cases. So CBI, some background information, it was set up back in 1963 by a resolution of the Home Ministry. Santhanam Committee on Prevention of Corruption recommended establishment of CBI. This committee was working from 62 to 64. And a special police establishment set up in 1941 was also merged with the CBI, and it derives its powers from Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946, and it's headed by a CBI director, and you have this assisted. This director is assisted by this special director. Moving on to another item is in the net. Again, a very easy one. Now we are getting some figures from Central Board of Direct Tax, and before moving ahead, let me ask you this simple question. Can you give me the name of the ministry and whom this CBDT works? So CBDT has released some reports, and based on this report we can, this report indicates that there has been 80% rise in this direct tax collection compared to 2013-14 figures, as 3.79 crore people used to file their taxes, but now in 2017-18 6.85 crore they have filed their tax returns. So 80% rise is not bad at all. Further, the direct tax to GDP ratio rose to 5.98%, or you can say 6%, which is again not bad. In last 10 years this has been the highest we have been, so it's again a good thing. The total direct tax collection is estimated to be 18 lakh crore in 2017-18, an increase of 18% from previous year, which is again a good thing, good revenue for government. It indicates that all those steps taken by union government is helping us, is helping the whole nation in terms of tax collection. We can see increase in compliance and better gathering of information, better enforcement, better awareness, and all these things have all over worked. So this is one of the reasons. The credit goes to the whole nation, of course. Now we have to make sure that the contribution of direct tax to the total amount of taxes collected by government, which is currently 52.29%, is still below. We need to see it going bit up. So we have two taxes, one is direct, one is indirect. Very simple to understand. All those taxes, right, whenever you buy any product or services, and the tax that you pay on it is called indirect tax. And direct tax is one that you pay on your income, right? So your salary or your profession, whatever you are earning, based on that, whatever you are earning, you pay tax on that. So that's direct tax. So we need to see this direct tax going up. If we see OECD countries, then we find that their GDP, this tax to GDP ratio, right, is 9%. Ours is 6 at present. So we need to see it go up 3% or more than that. If we can achieve, that's going to be good. And we can learn from these countries. There are so many things that we need to fix it even today, but here we have to understand that see, at present the scenario is that a few people are paying tax, so they are paying high tax at present. So this bar chart that we find of our country is something like this one, right? We have high tax and few people are paying it. We need to see this sort of bar, right, where you have lots and lots of people are paying tax and the tax rate is reasonably low. So we are gradually heading towards that thing, and most of the rise in this total tax collection in the last few years has been coming from indirect tax collection. So we need to see this rise in direct tax collection, because when indirect tax is reduced, then we find that it will give a boost to economy as well. So that's what we want to achieve. Now coming on to this interview, healthcare should not financially destroy families. It's talking about, this article is talking about 79,000 plus beneficiary admissions, and empaneled hospitals from across the country are part of this PMJAY. He talked about this difficulties that we are going to face, just like GST's example that I gave you. Something similar you find here, that we are going to find hurdles. It's inevitable, but how we solve those hurdles and problems, that's the main thing. And our country is quite diverse. Every state has a different system, so we have to mix and match. We have to apply this mixed model, private trust, insurance, etc., so that we can give them freedom, as at the same time we can maintain a sort of good quality and standardization too. So that's basically everything, right? Because you have posted your answers yesterday, so most of the things are covered by us already. As I told you, go through the answers that are provided by you guys in the comment section, or your colleagues in the comment section. I will recommend you guys to go through answers that are provided by Hindi medium students who are following this the Hindu analysis in Hindi language. So go through their answers as well. They have provided some good answers. Now, latest news items very quickly. Right, Supreme Court moves to make festivals less noisy. Right, this Deepavali or Diwali festival is not far, and green and reduced emission or improved crackers are something that the Supreme Court is promoting. Please pay attention to this one. PESO stands for Petroleum and Explosives Safety Organization. PESO will review the composition of various different items like lithium, arsenic, lead and mercury. It should not be present, or these chemicals are banned. And there is a blanket ban on online sale of firecrackers, and so there are some tough steps. Now let's see whether this particular rules and regulations or this order has been followed or not. Imran Khan vows to hold talks with India once general elections are over. India has clearly stated that if you want to have a chat with us, then you need to end these terror games that you are playing. And India issues démarche to Pakistan for this 21st October. Infiltrators, they tried to cross borders, and because of this thing, our soldiers have passed away. So God bless their family, our soldiers, right, and their family members. So this is something that is we are not happy about, and on one side we find that Pakistan is trying to have a chat with us. Behave like a trust state, CGI tells Assam and Centre. The state of Assam and Centre should behave like a true state, has been said by Chief Justice of India. He was talking about this NRC. And US warships sail through Taiwan Strait. The Xi opens world's longest sea bridge. Yesterday I provided you with a picture. And US will quit end treaty, that is nuclear treaty with Russia, has been said by Bolton. So we have talked about this thing as well. We have discussed a question to Financial World. CAG has questioned RBI's role. What were you doing? What exactly were you doing when these NPAs were going up? And Centre's refusal to provide IGST refund hurts exporters. This is something that exporters are not happy about. They are claiming that this is affecting their working capital. Now, dear friends, vocabulary. You have whirlwind, prelude, woo, bait, helm, and pervasive. And can you give me? Can you provide a few lines or a rough idea about this thing that you can see on your screen? Yesterday's item was Monetary Policy Committee. Many of you have provided answers on this MPC, so it's a good thing. Right, that's a very positive thing that you are doing. You are helping each other, you are getting points from each other, and this is how it will work, right? If you don't contribute, then don't expect others will. So if you want to change, if you want to see more answers, then you have to be consistent, you have to motivate others. This is something, right, that I will encourage you guys to do. And make sure that you always peer review, right? Peer review, you know the meaning, that you have to double check, right? If someone is posting answer, then don't just take it as it is. You do your own little bit of research. Of course, it will help you, but you have to do your own work. So it's just a research topic that will take 15 minutes for you guys, 15 maximum 20 minutes. But every day you are learning so many things, isn't it? Because of this research topic on subconscious level, you are learning how to do research as well. So that's going to stay with you forever. So that's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for listening. Make sure you share this lecture with other students, pass your answers, as well as hit the like button if you genuinely believe you have learned something from today's discussion. Thanks. God bless you all. Jai Hind.